I had some weird stuff happen to me during the Kosovo War. To know if it was the Amerimuts deploying some Isle Moutir happenings or whatever. Anyone interested?
Sure.
K, here goes. Kosovo War started. I was in one of them volunteer groups. This one was very minor, basically 50 people at max, and that was during our activity in Croatia. By 1998 it's just about 20 of us. Very often we simply tagged along bigger groups, or even the army proper in a few instances. Most of these groups were in it for the pillaging and stealing, and as our numbers dropped, we also started to, clear out abandoned houses and such. Commander calls me, tells me to go to Tudun ASAP. I'm like Lilwoot, the kebabs in Sanzak are still pretty docile. Tudun is pretty close to Kosovo though. We discussed to start some operations there too. Apparently we would be boosted in numbers and receive a pretty nice sum. Decide to move out in the morning, to travel during the day. The drive is uneventful. I arrive and meet up with the other guys. Boss gives us a quick rundown. We are to do an extraction mission, pretty weird. Very few details, says he'll be given instructions as we go. We immediately move out, go with them Pinsgauer trucks, very fun to drive. Go along this really awful road, suddenly we start going down very steeply, we're entering Kosovo. We set up camp in the wooded mountains, as close to the town as possible. Boss receives call, we are to link up with another group at midnight, then move out west towards a compound. At 2300 we move out, doesn't take too long to find the other guys. This is where it gets weird. The other group are all foreigners, as in, Americans, French, some African dudes, even a couple of Chinese. Not a single goddamn Serb, we're all weirded out. Anyways, we don't take too much to exchange pleasantries, but the dudes are all pretty chill, even though they don't want to talk about the job at all. As we approach the location, the air becomes weird, like before a storm. I like it, don't mind it at all. We start seeing the outlines of the place. As we approach, our radios start emitting this awful static. It's way too loud, we stop to adjust so if there are patrols around the compound they don't hear the damned noise. All the frequencies are jacked, except one. And it broadcasts some weird, very deep hum or buzz, and I swear there was some sort of breathing that was wrong in the background. At every few seconds it would then play a loud blurping sound. It makes our hair stand on end, and irritates the hell out of the Chinese, so we agree to shut down our radios. We get to the compound, the fence is all rusted off and broken. It's some sort of military installation, new in construction, but somehow aged way too fast. Walls all covered in moss, grass growing out of cracks and that. Suddenly the other group's commander, let's call him Boss 2, stops us. Possible contact. Soon I see two. One dude, in UCK uniform, standing in front of this blast door, in darkness. Obviously sees us, does nothing. Not even armed. Boss 2 says to not shoot him, they need all of them alive. We're disappointed, but apparently we're gonna get big cash for this. They move towards the dude, put a bag over his head. Albo doesn't say a word, not even move a muscle. Everyone is weirded out, including some of the foreigners. We go inside. As soon as we walk through the blast door, the smell starts. It's a very disgusting smell, like rust, with a tinge of public toilet that wasn't cleaned for decades. It's a long, dimly lit tunnel. The deeper we go, we realize that there are some sounds in the distance. Weird sounds, very alien, some kind of organic squeaking combined with machinery and clanking. We reach the end of the tunnel, a tiny room that splits in two narrow staircases, like those on boats. The wall of the room is covered in some paint, but it's just random nonsense. We move downstairs, the staircases just converge in a bigger hall. The hall is fenced off, and lights don't work, only one. but at the end is a big staircase or ramp, I guess. Whatever it is, some blue glow emanates from whatever is below. On the fence are some warning panels, rusted and peeled beyond intelligibility. The albos seem to have stumbled upon this though. A yellowed piece of paper is stuck to one of the panels, and a warning scribbled on it in Albanian. A very weird warning, seems not to follow any natural laws, a terrible place, and absolutely useless. Stay away. Whatever, we move the fence out of the way. Boss 2 tells us to secure this level, and they'll go below, and that whatever we do we don't go down. Oh come on, all the goodies are on the bottom probably. But the dude said it in a rather serious way, as if there was some sort of danger. We move out to secure all the rooms. The rooms are covered in creepy drawings. Like, nothing specific was drawn, but the patterns were off-putting for some reason. Suddenly a very loud bang, we all collectively shut bricks. Some dude shouts it's fine from the level below. Suddenly the lights start working properly, flashlights unneeded. And a nice surprise, an unnoticed, well-decomposed body in the corner. UCK uniform, yet again. The dude they are holding bagged up somehow knows we noticed. The instant we mentioned body he starts jittering. One of the chinks emerges from the hallway, tells us that they fixed the radios, goes below once again. Nice. MP4. We then realize the background noise has changed. Instead of the machine sounds, it's now wind. A light breeze comes out of the lower hallway, carries the smell, making it even worse. It's fresher. In a moment, the atmosphere changes, the air becomes extremely heavy, our ears start ringing. Albo gets extremely agitated, breaks free, jumps down the stairs on all fours like a goddamn cheetah. Bag on head didn't affect him at all. We radio to the other guys what happened. Suddenly screeching. Not normal screeching, this one is a deep one, kinda like them Russian chaoists with deep voices, but mentally challenged to put it nicely. Boss 2 seems merely annoyed on the radio. Whatever it was, they start shooting. A lot. We're getting edgy out here, want to go below. Shooting stops, they say to stay up, everything is under control. I go into one of the rooms. They are trashed, nothing worth taking. See a piece of paper on the floor. Pick it up, turn it around. It's from a calendar. It's a small torn piece. Disregard it, then it hits me. The year on it starts with 2. As in, 2000 and something. I show it to the rest of the dudes, we're now at maximum spook levels. The radio comes on again, Boss 2 says they're finishing up. A terrible buzz and what seems to be distant breathing is in the background. The glow from the staircase starts changing, growing weaker then stronger. The dudes run up, say to haul ass. In the entry tunnel we start hearing what seems to be thousands whispering at the same time. Run out of the goddamn thing. Some kind of dark, quadrupedal figure is in front. Weird, insect-like, elbows forwards, knees backwards, stance. Boss 2 says to open fire. All of us, there were like 20 dudes in the other group, making the total count about 30, shoot it. Screaming, then these weird whispery grunting and hissing sounds. Stops approaching us, now chaotically flailing on the ground. Moves to one of the lights, the outside ones seem to have been activated too. It's totally black, like Vanta Black. At this point we emptied enough bullets to kill a small village into it. Thrashing around on the ground, but so extremely it's like a bugged ragdoll in a video game. Weird gross sounds, then suddenly with a very quiet pop it covers us in neon goddamn blue blood and goop. It's some toxic filth. This is it, boys. Our vision goes to black and white. Ears ringing, but in a weird manner. We turn around to the bunker. Glow coming out from the door, inside a weird pattern. See a silhouette of something that is very much not human but tries to be slowly limp towards the blast door. Boss 2 screams to blow it up. Above the bunker is some sort of pitch black orb, with two tentacles, one thinner than the other, running straight down into the bunker. One of the dudes, a Frenchie, pulls out a button and presses it. With a distant explosion, the entire compound just disappears below the ground, leaving only a white hole, like it was specifically designed to do so. The black orb above the bunker starts flailing all its tentacles, or rays, around, then in a moment gets stretched in all directions and disappears. The weird effect of the blood of the weird thing we shot wears off. We all agree never to talk about it again. Return to Tudun, go into a bakery because I'm hungry. For some reason ask for the date. Baker tells me that basically 3 weeks have passed. Think he's messing with me. When I get back home to my city, realize that 3 weeks really did pass. I still have no idea what the hell that was. I even went back to Istoke and asked the locals about weird happenings, the folks from the surrounding villages too, they have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, later on another, and last job I once again saw the black orb with tentacles thing, we'll post later. Another thing is, I find that some details in my life have changed. My left eyelid was just barely lower than the on the right, now they're the same. I used to prefer chubbier women, but now like only extremely skinny ones. My car had a cracked rear light, after that it didn't. Maybe there's a reason why those mountains on the Montenegro-Albania border are called the Cursed Mountains, though this specific thing happened a little to the east of that area, but the other thing is obviously related.
Thanks for this. I'd like to hear your other story. But pre-type it please.
Here you go, it's far less spooky though. April 1999. Rumors about Albanians trafficking arms and trying to instigate some stuff in Montenegro and Sandžak. The easiest way to go into Montenegro from Albania is via the area around Lake Skatter, via Ulcinj, or the third route, the Vermis River Valley, since the border doesn't follow the watershed in that area for whatever reason, resulting in the northernmost point of Albania being easier accessed from Montenegro than the rest of the country, geographically speaking. Anyway, the entire area is barely populated, the terrain is very pretty, but not particularly supportive of life, cursed mountains for a reason. Basically, due to the remoteness and the local mixed Albo-Bosniak population, it was believed that some action will be going on in Gosinje. So, some balls from the Montenegrin government ask us to snoop around. First week is uneventful, the team are staying in this not so old, but sort of decrepit big house. Heck, the dude charged with guarding it spent time fixing stuff around. By the time we left the house was in a better shape than what we found, lol. We literally scoured everything in the entire valley, absolutely nothing. Then one night weird airplane activity around. If you didn't know, in April 1999 the Satanists in NATO decided to bomb us with depleted uranium, for whatever reason. But this area, Muslim majority, they didn't target for obvious reasons. Scouting mission? We take it as a sign that they're gonna try some Shiite. Immediately move out to our forward camp a little bit to the west, where we'd scout the valley for movement. As we reach it, the weird airfield comes back. We all remember. Everyone is on edge. Two guys who were on guard duty in the camp for that night real glad to see us, they say they have a real bad feeling. We set up, it's an unusually cold night, but we don't make a fire to not be noticed by the planes that fly over, though they probably had thermal imagery, but it never hurts to be maximally careful. Suddenly one guy says to take a look. He accidentally looked across the valley and saw this floating ball of light in the sky. Looks like ball lightning at first, but I take the binoculars and zoom in further, it's actually some sort of sphere made out of glowing lines, like a globe but with only the meridians and parallels. It seems as if something is around it, I guess. Can't look at it too long, eyes start to hurt. Everyone looks and verifies. Suddenly movement on the road in the valley. Oh boy, it's an entire convoy. One plane, a VTOL, suddenly descends above them, starts flying real close. But it doesn't make a sound. Looks like that weird stealth bomber we shot down, but obviously isn't. We call it into the army proper, they're gonna have to take care of this. Radio starts to get more and more garbled. A rusty smell can now be sensed. We are all familiar, spookometer is maxing out. This time, it's far less harsh and disgusting, there is a tinge of this weird smell old electronics and elevators have. Then we notice it. The black tentacle ball is above our encampment, 2 of the tentacles are going towards the weird glowing sphere, which is moving erratically. The sphere starts flying around the convoy. Note that it's some real heavily armed shide. In a split second, with a poof, literally a sound like someone blowing into your ear gently, every single vehicle, plane included, simply disintegrates. As if every part, to the every nut and bolt was disassembled with utmost care and each and every single one placed exactly 10 meters from each other. Drivers, other people nowhere to be seen. The sphere starts going towards us. The black sphere starts running from it. At the top of the ridgeline we see the glowing sphere touching the black one, both are distorted heavily then disappear with a weird, deep buzz. Radio it into the army proper. They're stationed near, must have seen it. They claim they saw nothing. In the morning we investigated the location of the convoy, lo and behold, there were metal pieces everywhere. Maybe I should ask our former leader if he learned anything about this shift.